Welcome back to The Derby Difference, the official podcast of Derby Academy in Hingham, Massachusetts, where we celebrate the people, stories, and spirit that make our school community so special. I'm your host, Jeff Natali, and today we have a really fun and meaningful episode. We are joined by 5 Derby Academy students who have a very special connection to the school. They're what we call Derby Lifers, students who have been here from pre-K all the way through grade 8. Please help me welcome Olivia Caulfield, Anna Heller, Grace Ford, Reed Frazier, and Barrett K. Today, we're going to talk about their Derby Academy experience, their favorite memories, teachers and traditions they'll miss, and what it's like to grow up with classmates over so many years, and why being a Derby lifer is something really special. Let's jump in. All right, we are here with the aforementioned lifers. We're having a good time. And I'm excited that you all are here. So thank you for joining the podcast. We're going to start. Yes. And I should start out by saying, by the way, this was all Olivia's idea. It was a fantastic idea by Olivia to have the lifers on as sort of the last podcast of the year. We will continue podcasting during the summer. I know you were all interested in that because you didn't want the podcast to go away for the summer. You'd all mentioned that to me at some point, I think. But I did want to do like a culminating. You all have been here since pre-K. It's really exciting that you're about to go to the new North Chapel and graduate. But I did want to sit down with all of you and just talk about the Derby experience. And I wanted you to introduce yourselves. So we'll start here with Anna, and then we'll work our way around. Maybe give me 1 or 2 things you're interested in and where you live. And I don't know if you want to shout out anybody on the podcast. Thousands of listeners. This is your time.
My name's Anna Heller. I'm from Hingham, and I like to play lacrosse.
I'm Grace Ford. I'm from Norwell, and I like to do dance.
I'm Olivia Caulfield. I'm from Hingham, and I like to play hockey and field hockey. And I'd like to shout out Mr. Rouge.
All right. Mr. Rouge gets a shout out.
My name's Reed Frazier. I like to do art, and I live in Hingham, Massachusetts.
My name is Barrett K. I live in Hingham. I like track and field, and shout out to Mrs. Loud.
All right. Perfect. So tell me about Mrs. Loud, because we were talking about her a little bit earlier. Why is she special to this group?
So we all had her as our pre-K teacher, and she was just generally probably one of the best teachers we've all ever had at Derby. She was very, she always took the time to be with us, to take us into consideration. She was always willing to help us out. She was very, very supportive and very flexible. She was always able to just generally just be nice to us. She was very patient with us, which I find that incredible. Especially when I was I used to always be so anxious around others. And I just feel like she really was able to kind of make me a bit more sociable, especially when I came back in my reclass year.
Yeah. Pre-K is tough, right? Like you're a 4 or 5-year-old. You've never been to school before. What do you all remember about your pre-K experiences? Were there some good, some bad? Any highlights?
I remember a few things. I remember walk and talks that I had with Miss Loud, because even though her last name was Loud, she was actually one of the quiet teachers. And so she was just really good to listen and give you small, just a light conversation. I also remember our play, The Gingerbread Man. I remember that I was the grandma and Anna was my daughter.
Yeah.
And I remember the wig.
Yeah. I had an apron and a bow. I remember.
Very nice.
It was definitely hectic. Pre-K. I loved it, obviously, but it's crazy to be in pre-K now in 8th grade, and we still have 5 people from pre-K.
Does it feel like a lifetime ago? Does it feel like a short time ago? How does it feel?
I feel like there's grades I remember more than others.
I agree, definitely. I think up until beginning of 8th grade, it felt like a really long time ago, and now being the 8th grade pal to your pre-K pal, you relive those memories through them, playing on the playground with them, or having them tell you about what they're doing in class that day brings it all back. So definitely your 8th grade year, it feels wow, that used to be me, but it also feels like I remember all of it.
What are some of the grades that stand out to you, Olivia? Because you mentioned there's grades that stand out and maybe grades you forgot about.
Yeah,
So-
I would say like third grade was a big year for me. I had Miss Amore, now Miss Lewis, and I just feel like she was such a supportive teacher. I remember I would like go in early in the morning and she would get me Starbucks. And then also
Starbucks.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
She
remember
just
that.
Really going above and beyond.
Like I also made this thing, it's like 10 acts of kindness and it's still like outside of her door. So I feel like if I'm like ever walking through a lower school, it just like reminds me.
Keep going.
Hi, Mr. Holt.
Mr. Holt.
We'll leave that in the pod.
Keep that in the
Leave it in.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No
So-
more write-ups, right?
So Miss Samorian, now Miss Lewis,
Yes.
third grade to remember. Anybody else have a favorite grade?
Oh, I started. Yeah.
Grace and then Anna. Go. Grace.
I think first grade might be a grade. It wasn't my favorite grade, but it was definitely a grade that stuck out to me because we had a writing workshop where we were learning how to write books. And me and two of my friends, we made books. And for my birthday party, we collected all of the books that we made and we sold them on our playground at my neighborhood and we made a lot of money. So,
It's very nice.
yeah.
Anna.
I was gonna say fourth and fifth grade, kind of like together. I grouped them together in my mind because it's kind of like the transition from the lower school to the middle school. And I remember having Miss Miller and doing a lot of writing and kind of learning how to write stories. And then in fifth grade, the International Studies unit, which was really fun. And just recently, we got to see the current fifth graders do their International Studies unit, and it kind of also felt nostalgic.
Yeah.
Appreciated.
There's like big projects. I feel
Yeah,
the grades that have big projects. I remember like fifth grade with international studies, and then we had the living history museum the third grade. So
Mhm.
Do you all remember who you were for the Living History Museum?
I
It
was
was
Helen
Ferdinand
Keller.
Magellan.
Ferdinand Magellan.
Yeah.
I was Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
I was Helen
Alright.
Keller.
Helen Keller.
Mae Jemison.
Amelia Earhart.
That was what Kendall was.
Yeah,
I
she
like
told
it.
me.
Yeah.
I helped her on it.
Some of us went to third grade to help them. Did any of you guys go?
Oh, yeah.
I think
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
for that.
Yeah, to help them type stuff. And Kendall was telling me about it.
Barrett, give me one moment that you have been especially proud of yourself about here at Derby.
Oh, geez, that's hard. I mean, probably that would be like finishing my applications. I felt like the most proud because I knew that all my hard work over the last 2 years, especially getting ready for applications in the fall, finally doing them in during winter break and in January, and then finally knowing that I'd actually done it. Like I'd gone for all the SSAT stuff. I improved gradually, which made me feel so good. And then finally getting to the school which I wanted to, Brooks, which really made me feel good about myself, that all my hard work had come fruition, and I just felt great. There was also kind of the feeling of knowing that it's almost over. Before you know it, it's all going to be done, and I'm going to be at a new school, and I'm going to know no one from the old school, which is going to be sad because I've known these guys for like 10 years now, which is like almost the entirety of my life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll tell you a moment that I remember from you, Barrett, is when you got up during a morning meeting to talk about the Indiana Jones
I was about to say
character.
that.
Oh my God, yes.
And
yes.
I think you were in sixth grade at the time.
That was
I
fifth
said
grade.
that.
That was
Fifth grade. You were fifth grade. And I
So
remember you
great.
giving this riveting performance.
That was-
Everybody was,
That was 20 minutes long, right? It was like super long.
yeah. And you
loved
crushed it. You
And-
crushed it. And
yeah.
everybody was like intently listening. That was one of my first, this is Barrett Cast moments, was that presentation. So
Yes.
I was hoping you were going to say that. But also being done with applications, that's a pretty good one too. Olivia, anything that you're especially proud of yourself about?
I would agree with Bear, the SAT stuff, because that's like very time consuming, especially this summer, having to spend a lot of time. So yeah, just finishing high school applications and getting into the schools. And then I don't know, I think like there's so many. I feel like also just like looking back to the big projects again in fifth grade doing international studies, that was like a whole year thing that we did, and speeches this year too. We started in like January and it was a really long project.
Do you want to explain speeches a little bit? What are eighth grade speeches? What are you talking about?
So basically in eighth grade you're required to write a speech of your choice of what you I don't really know. It's just
It's
like
like something that means something to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
it's like
something
a
personal.
message that you
Yeah.
want to convey. Maybe that comes from a moment that you had or like an
A
experience.
family member.
Yeah,
that
like
sort of thing.
so anything that you think that could be beneficial for the audience.
Yeah.
So you could choose to either perform it to the middle and upper school, which is 4th through 8, or just this 8th grade. And a couple weeks ago, everyone that didn't perform it to the middle and upper school did it, and so it was 18 people just for the 8th grade. And then you get graded on your writing back in the winter, and then throughout the spring after March break, you work on public speaking and you get up at the podium a lot and just in front of your English class and you learn about, for everyone, it's kind of different things. Some people, I know for me, I need to practice not swaying when I got to the podium, and some people it's volume and speaking and projecting. So you just kind of work all of that out, and then you get graded on how you actually deliver it after you perform your speech.
Yeah,
Is-
Anna had her speech today and she's really good.
Yeah, I crushed it. Crushed it.
Can I?
Yeah, we're back to you. Go for it, Reed.
I think I'm really proud of getting through English this year. I've heard stories and I've experienced now it's really hard with all the assignments going on, especially the writing portfolio at the end. The writing portfolio, you have a bunch of poems you have to write, and you basically gather up all of what you've learned and put it into different writing assignments and make this final writing portfolio. But writing all of them is very time consuming and it's pretty hard, but I'm proud that I finally finished that.
You finished it up.
Mhm.
Awesome. Is there a teacher, coach, advisor, staff member who's had a big impact on you and your Derby experience?
I would say Mr. A, definitely, especially with public speaking, because I think that's a thing we didn't really work on a lot up until 8th grade, and obviously that's a skill that you want to have and bring to high school and stuff. So I think my public speaking skills definitely improved this year, and I'd like to shout out Mr. A for that.
I think I would say Mr. Rennie. He's somebody who's taught me a lot. Shop wasn't something that I would think of at first would be something that I would do, but after one of his classes, it became something that I always put down, not because of just being in like a funner class. It's because he was kind of a sense of safety for me. He was somebody I'd be able to talk to about a lot of things, and I think he also just brought so much joy and different activities to class. Also, Miss Rufina. Miss Rufina was one of my favorite teachers because even just in 5th grade, she provided so much detail in everything that she said. And she's somebody who still today I'll see her and she'll give me a hug. And I think she's somebody that I'll always remember.
I would probably say Miss Malone, my math teacher, my current math teacher. She was also my math teacher in 6th grade, and she's kind of just made math more than just a subject, because obviously math, the subject itself, is very jarring, and the work, and it's easily my worst subject. And she just kind of made it not just a class, but also a community, if that makes any sense. In the morning, we don't just go straight to math. We do a question of the day, or she'll tell us stories, or we'll have conversation. She kind of just is another like friend almost before she's my teacher. And she just kind of created a really comfortable bond. And I think that she's made math one of my favorite subjects this year, which hasn't been in past years, just because of the community she's built in the class.
I was gonna say Miss Malone just because I was with her in 7th grade and she's my advisor in 8th grade. She's always been with me for a lot of things. But I also love Miss Nayland, 6th grade advisor. The whole like starting a lot of homework in 6th grade, not a lot, but starting like a good amount of homework in 6th grade, it was hard. And she helped me and a lot of other kids get through it and in a resource.
I would also shout out Mr. G, definitely, because I would say in 6th grade, history wasn't my favorite subject. And I think I've had him this year and last year, and he's just made it super interesting. And yeah.
Could I say more than one teacher if that's fine? Like, I'd definitely say Miss Nayland, like Reed, Mrs. Loud, which I'm really driving that point home, and Mrs. Marsico and Mrs. Huber. I mean,
Yeah, Mrs. Huber.
Mrs. Marsico, I had her for 3 years, they had her for 2 years, and she was generally just incredible. She was always there for you. She was very energetic. She always made you excited to do something in class. And she's been there for me for so long. I always try and see her when she's teaching her class or just try to check on her. And she's just generally great. And then you've got Mrs. Loud, who I've been able to keep in touch with even after she left Derby, and she's just been a great support. She even helped me with my speech, and that really kind of sort of drove home that sort of message that I wanted to have in it. And then Mrs. Huber, she helped me with my a lot of my social stuff in first grade and a bit of second grade. She also helped me with my reading stuff, and that really allowed me to just get a lot better academically. And she was always super supportive, and she was very energetic, and she was just great. And then Miss Nayland, she was able to get me a bit out of like being over obsessed about like small things in class or just like trying to control everything and just trying to just do as much as you can in like a resource or just manage your time. And also she was able to convince me to get more into track and field, which was great. So yeah.
Very cool. Is there a tradition that you'll all miss? Are there certain Derby
day.
traditions?
Definitely field day.
I think we all
I think that we can probably all say that. Speaking from like a spirit captain perspective, it's definitely like a year-round event that kind of builds up to the one day, which is this Friday actually. And it just is kind of a time for everyone in the school to get involved, and specifically fourth through eighth graders. But just because the third through pre-Kers aren't competing on the same day as the upper school and middle school, they're still there and they're still running around and they're still dressed up and decked out, and it just lifts everyone's spirit. And it's just this ongoing rivalry, and I think makes Derby really special.
Yeah, and I would also say it gives you an opportunity to connect with people from different grade levels, which is really nice. I feel like as a sixth grader, I definitely looked up to the eighth graders a lot, and that was like my sister's grade, but you're able to make a lot more connections with people just like outside your grade.
Any other traditions that you're going to miss?
I'd say Derby Day probably, that when you go down the road towards the old church. And this year it's gonna be a lot different because it's like we're at the front and we're leaving, and then we go into that church. Don't we ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
There's
ring
a bell.
we ring a bell as
No.
the lifers, and I think, right, don't only the lifers ring the bell.
The lifers
Yeah.
ring the bell. Yeah.
And definitely Derby Day. I know if I'm talking to some of my friends that don't go to Derby, and I'll be talking about the summer, and I'll be, oh yeah, Derby Day. And it's just kind of, it's not a normal thing for a school to have.
like
It's not, that's not a thing for other schools to have.
What
A
can we just have
designated, like,
graduation?
day. Yeah, they just call it graduation. But like, I think it's just such a core memory for all of us through the years in pre-K, in the parade, being behind the eighth graders, just kind of like walking down, and all the girls, it's a big deal, like finding your Derby Day dress. We're all dressed in white, and then walking down to the church. And then if you're in pre-K through sixth grade, just keep walking back up to school. But then in seventh grade last year, I know a lot of us have older siblings, so we've been in the church before to watch them graduate. But in seventh grade, you get to sit in the church and see what it's going to be like. And that now in eighth grade, we're going to leave the parade and walk down, and
It's a real
It's gonna
experience.
be
Yeah,
over.
it's gonna be
It's gonna be
different.
over.
Yeah.
10 years, which is crazy. I mean, I remember so many years where we walked down to Derby Day. I remember, like, as a pre-K or kindergartner.
like
when I was
finally
little.
so
Yeah, it
Yeah,
kind of just
and
feels, thinking about it in past years, that just the walk downtown just kind of feels a mundane
yeah,
experience.
it felt like, and
Just
now
kind of
it's,
like another thing you
now it's
do.
sad.
now it's sad.
Now there's
Realize
like
that.
meaning to it.
Are there going to be tears on Derby Day, do we think?
Oh, yeah.
in kindergarten
Yes.
or like any other grade, I'd be like, yeah, it's summer. But
Yeah, I feel like it's
this
like,
Different.
especially if you're a lifer.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to see some of the people that have been in my life forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially, I think it's difficult for us students just because we've known all of these teachers. So it's we are losing just that many more people that have been through our life.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's also Derby's watched us grow, like all the teachers here. So it's just kind of
And
like,
my friends too. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's going to be so weird when all these girls that I will go to dinner with or hang out with, it's probably not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to have other friends wanting to make connections at our new high schools. And so I think that's going to be different, just having a different group.
What advice would you give pre-Kers today about Derby or about the Derby experience?
Oh, I went. I would probably say live it to its fullest. Derby gives a lot of opportunities to be your true authentic self. I know I was talking to my other friend Elsie about this earlier, but Derby, be it the close community it is, it gives you a lot of room to just kind of like express yourself any way you want. If you wanna be in the play, then be in the play. If you wanna be in vocal ensemble, just do whatever you want. Try a new sport. Just it kind of gives you all those opportunities to just be new at something and not be judged because of how close everyone is. And so probably just take advantage of that because in high school, you might not get that same amount of freedom or other years at other schools.
I think create lots of friendships. I think I have like a pretty great group of friends right now, but I've worked really hard over the years to make sure that I'm friends with everybody. Um, and just kind of makes me feel good inside to know that I've been a part of people's lives, even if it's small for some people. Just being able to be like, my grade is a community. I know everyone, I'm friends with everybody. It just kind of makes your grade feel more of a safe space. Because then you guys all feel comfortable together and you can make jokes with each other. And I think, uh,
I would say definitely take any opportunities that are offered to you, even if it's something that you wouldn't usually be interested in. Because with photography, I took that in 6th grade, and that originally wasn't something that I was super interested in, and then I ended up really liking it and took it in 7th grade too. So, and then I'd also just say enjoy every moment and don't get too caught up, I guess, in the moment.
Um, I think as pre-Kers, they don't really have to worry about that much right now.
I have a
Yeah.
pre-care. She doesn't worry about anything.
Um, yeah, I just think just be yourself is really important. Don't change yourself for other people.
Yeah.
I think just try to be like a good person. Just try to generally just keep that good stance of being kind to other people, being gracious to other people, just being humble and just trying to do your best and be the best person that you can be, that or that you aspire to be, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Going back to the traditions thing, I would say pals is also a big thing.
Oh,
Um, I don't like know how to explain it really well because it's just like, but
pals,
basically
like,
you
when
have a buddy almost, and so up till 4th grade, you're
The younger.
the younger pal, and then, again, I think it's like a good opportunity to kind of connect with people outside of your grade, and it just gives you leadership opportunities too.
Yeah, and I think like kind of going off of that, Shay's my pal, and it teaches you to kind of enjoy things more when you're playing around with them. I was like playing tag, like I don't know the last time I've played tag with my friends, like just because or like, run around or like wanted to like, hide under the swings, fun things like that.
Don't take things too seriously.
Yeah, just like lovely, just like
Yeah.
and especially having a pre-K pal, I think I love just being able to see her. And even though there's so much stress, school and tests and final exams, just seeing them smile and their true genuine happiness to see you and give you a hug, it just kind of makes your day better. And knowing that, oh, looking forward, next Friday I'll be able to see them, or just having that sense of, like, there's always one little girl.
Yeah.
Or boy.
Yeah. The pals is the coolest
I
thing.
mean,
Yeah.
I'd say also that it's just great to see them grow up.
Yeah,
Or, like seeing them, my pal JJ, he used to be so anxious, so shy around all the other people, and especially in the first couple weeks of school. And I always like felt like, oh, that's like I want him to like kind of find his own group. And then when I come back after winter break, he's so much more energetic. He's a lot happier, and he's generally like hanging out with buddies. He's running around, and I feel good about that. I just feel good about that. Just seeing him grow up and be able to.
Yeah, I think, like, especially as an 8th grader, it just gives everybody an opportunity to step up as a leader, and yeah.
yeah, and going off of like watching them grow up, it's not just in eighth grade. Also, when you're sixth grader and or seventh grader, and you have pals in first or second grade, like you kind of like you watch them grow up through the lower school, and then you kind of keep those connections as you grow up. I know a lot of our pals from when we were in fourth and fifth grade are now in the middle school, and I like see them and I wave to me. I remember when we were pals when they were in like kindergarten. It's just kind of funny to think about how they're now the older pals,
Mhm.
and they're once your younger pal.
What do you think Derby has done to prepare you for what comes next?
Organization. I think
Oh,
a
that's
lot of classes and a lot of teachers, especially Mr. A, they just really teach us how to manage our things, and especially in the upper school, our workload kind of increases with the years, but they help us to find ways to organize it. And I think everything that you're doing is a way to learn, oh, once I'm in high school, this is something that I'm going to need to work harder on. Or, oh, this is something that would work really well in high school. And so I think, yeah, just organization.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd also say managing your time is really important too, not procrastinating. So I think they do a good job of that. And then again, I know I've already mentioned this, but public speaking is definitely a big thing. Um, and even like Reed's like little brother was like, I don't know what he said exactly, but like, didn't he say, did Cole say something about what? Public speaking. No. You sound like he did. Wait, about when? Okay, well,
You mean his older brother?
I think
no.
Oh, yeah. My
Yeah.
older brother said,
Oh, then it was Will.
yeah, he said that it's really Derby helped me so much for public speaking, Mr. A specifically.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Ash.
Shout out, Mr. A. Public speaking. Anything else that Derby has helped you prepare for?
I think it's just generally going like the school's motto, improve both mind and heart. I think that kind of goes into the whole stuff that we've learned, just to be a good person, generally, just be kind to other people. Try to just be the best person that you can be, and always just, well, be a good person.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Mr.
saying.
Natali has helped us learn
Thank you.
what being a leader is about. And so going into high school, I think I'll definitely carry some of the things that you say about doing the small things in high school. And that just will help you be seen as a leader.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that I'll add that all of you do really well is you advocate for yourselves, right? And I think regardless of what I'm doing in my office, you're always coming in to advocate for yourselves, to take a piece of candy, to talk to me, just being comfortable around adults in general. You're all doing a podcast with hundreds of thousands of viewers and listeners. So that in itself, right? You're advocating for yourself. So I think that's one thing that Derby does really, really well is every graduate is really comfortable speaking with adults, advocating for themselves, whether that's in a academic setting or a sports setting or an art setting. You all do that very well.
And we have proactivity credits in English, which encourages advocating for yourself because you have to
proactive.
Yeah, you have to earn 3 productivity credits before a certain deadline. So yeah.
Yeah, and also touching on the sports, it teaches you patience because I know there'll be times when you're on a team with people with varying skill level, and I've been on like both sides of the scale where you want to be better and you want to improve, and it's like a good captain or a good teammate will be the one that's patient with you and teaches you how to doesn't just like get mad at you or not like, include you in the team. They'll like try and help you better, and also being a captain now, kind of learning that like you have to be patient with people and like how to like give them advice and things like that.
Perfect. So this will be our last question, and then I'll let you all get out of here because I know you're anxious to get to sports and whatever else you're doing this afternoon. And all my podcasts, so you're all big fans, so you know this. But what is the Derby difference? Why is Derby different than any other school?
I think the connections you make at Derby, not only it's how you know everyone. I feel like in that you won't get that at a lot of other schools.
Yeah.
I don't think at all you will get that.
I
Maybe
think-
some schools.
Yeah, also just like the close-knit community that we have kind of with like what Reed said. And like also I think teachers do like such a good job staying in touch with kids even after they graduated and stuff. And yeah, you're just able to get close with everybody here and all the teachers.
I would kind of say, like, going off of that, like, teachers do a really good job at, like, making it feel like a safe space. So it's just kind of school second. It's like you have this comfort place with this, like, person to talk to, and they're also, like, your English teacher. I know we, like, touched on Miss Huber, but, it's like a shout out to Miss Huber, but she was never my actual, like, she didn't teach me in first grade, but she's always been kind of a safe space to me, a supporter that I can just, I know is someone who's rooting for me always, or that I could talk to if I'm, like, stressed out about something, even though she, like, never taught me. She was always just kind of like someone that I know has made an impact for me at Derby.
And I think also with the small, tight-knit community, only having 37 kids in our grade, it's a lot different because we all kind of know what's going on with everybody. And so I think that helps us to just know everybody better and being able to talk to everybody in our grade. And it gives that opportunity to think that at other schools, like there's 150 kids in the grade. I wouldn't be able to keep track of everybody.
Yeah.
So I think it's just cool knowing that I know everybody here, and it just kind of gives me a sense of stability because it's easier to build closer connections with each person.
I would just say everybody here makes an effort to get to know everybody, which has also been really great because, I don't know, there's just like familiar faces all around.
Yeah. Middle school's hard. And so when you're
Yeah.
doing it around people that truly care about you and truly know you, makes it at least a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I'll be talking to some people that go to middle school, and that person goes to middle school, but I've never met them before. I've never spoken to them, but like they're in my grade. And that's just kind of really different from Derby, I'd say, because it's like I know everyone, not only in our grade, but in the upper school or like in the middle school. It just gives you a lot of chances to make connections with people in other grades and build actual bonds with people in your grade, not just know who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the great feeling about Derby is that the teachers and all your friends or people in your grade will always be there for you, like no matter what. They're always willing to support you for really anything. And I feel like that's really good that we have the close-knit feeling together that allows us to help each other out during hard times, that sort of thing.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you all very much for spending your afternoon with me. And brings us to the end of this very special episode of the Derby Difference. A huge thank you to Olivia Caulfield, Anna Heller, Grace Ford, Reed Frazier, and Barrett Cass for joining us and sharing what it has meant to grow up at Derby Academy. Being a Derby lifer is pretty amazing. These students have experienced Derby from the very first days in pre-K all the way through 8th grade graduation. And all along the way, they've built friendships, taken on challenges, learn from incredible teachers, and become leaders in our community. Their stories remind us that Derby is not just a place students attend, it is a place where students grow up, discover who they are, create memories that stay with them long after they leave campus. To Olivia, Anna, Grace, Reed, Barrett, and the rest of our 8th graders, congratulations. We are so proud of you, and we can't wait to see what you'll do next. Thanks for listening to the Derby Difference. Be sure to subscribe, share this episode with a Derby friend, and join us next time as we continue celebrating the people and stories that make Derby such a special place.